Welcome to day 300 of the 300 Movie Challenge! Today we watched what we think will be the highest grossing film of May 2019, which was Detective Pikachu, and no, we did not plan this out.
Yeah.
At all.
We did not.
Yeah, when was it when we jokingly said that we would end on Detective Pikachu? It was like a
I
long
don't
time
remember.
I
ago.
don't remember.
It was before. I remember it was before like any of the trailers or anything came out, and we were just like, "Oh, this is obviously going to be terrible, and no one's going to watch it." But then it's like, wait a minute. And also because
Just kidding.
originally like Endgame was like going to come out at the beginning of May instead of the end of April, so we were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's obviously going to win May," but then they moved it up. So, okay, again, to be fair, this. I honestly could see like probably 50-50 that either this or like probably Aladdin would win this month, but we're like, we want to see this, so too bad.
Yeah.
So if we're wrong
that.
and Aladdin wins, then oh well.
It's fine.
It was just too perfect,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
How does it feel, Valen? 300 movies after you were born
Yeah.
is Detective Pikachu.
I know, right? It's like literally perfect.
How momentous.
Yeah. I kind of don't know where to start with this. Geez. Well, I guess, okay. So I was actually approached by my dad to see this. So he came to me wanting to see this. I mean, of course I wanted to see it, for this too, but yeah. So I thought that was funny. And then, and I think I said before that, I've mentioned that sometimes he could be a stick in the mud and not like things, but he actually overall liked this, so.
Oh,
Um,
good.
but
Yay.
We do kind of agree that there are. Well, I think there's basically one quote-unquote problem, and he kind of agrees with me as well. I think he likes it maybe a bit less than I do, but again, it's still overall positive, so. Yeah, but I don't know. What did you guys think?
I think considering the bar is very, very low for a video game movie,
Yeah.
this surpassed it with
Yeah.
flying colors.
Yeah, like, it's not high art, but I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
The fact that you can say that you liked a video game movie is already pretty momentous.
Yeah. Like, I remember I was talking to my dad, and we were saying, like, if someone just came up to us and said, "There's a Detective Pikachu movie," and we were like, "What the hell? Let's go see it," and then we saw this, we would have said this was better than we thought. But
Yeah.
since we saw the trailers and we saw the general reaction, that like I basically said this is about as good as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
So, but again, that in and of itself is very, very good, considering like you said, the bar is really low. So,
Considering how many other video games were butchered to no end
mhm,
and stuff.
It
And
will be later this year with Sonic
Yep.
the Hedgehog.
mhm.
we're not watching that. We
Thank
will
the Lord.
never have to watch that.
I kind of want to watch it.
You
Just to
You
see
can
how
do
bad.
that by yourself.
I kind of want to see it, but at the same time, I don't want to give them money. So,
Wait, it's fine.
yeah, but
Anyway, Detective Pikachu.
yeah. Well, okay. I think we could probably agree that the best thing is just the overall like world presentation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
everything.
world presentation is done really well in the sense where it's like, it feels like it's part of the universe. Like, they mentioned regions, they mentioned Kanto. It's not just full of Gen 1 Pokemon, there's Pokemon from all the other generations in there
Mm-hmm.
and stuff.
Like, even some, like, lesser-known ones, like Morilol, I didn't expect to see.
Yeah.
Bouflant was just
Yeah.
running around in farms and stuff.
Oh yeah, and then there was like a Trico.
Yeah.
There was something from. Oh, the whole Torterra forest thingy.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting
Yeah.
Yeah.
or Apom. And then,
They-
like,
I still just am like amazed they made Apom like look fucking creepy, and it's like it's Apom. Like, all right.
then I also found it really clever how they used, like, the Pokemon and all the signs and stuff. Like, here you'll have, like, cats or dogs or birds used in, like, logos and stuff. But here it makes sense that they would have Pokemon used in those things. Like, the Knocked Owl being used for, like, a coffee shop.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the kind of movie where like I want to like, be able to watch it at home and be able to like pause it whenever and like just stare at the background
Yeah, and
because I
see-
know I missed a lot of stuff in the
little-
background.
Yeah.
See all the, like, little, like, Easter eggs that are just peppered throughout it and
Yeah.
everything. The
Okay.
plot was pretty, like,
As you would expect it to be, very simplistic.
yeah, it was very simplistic and stuff.
Yeah, like the whole thing about like, I mean, I guess spoilers, but whatever. The Pikachu being like the fusion with Tim's dad, like even before they even like revealed the fusion thing was like a thing, I still was like, I thought that was somehow like what happened. Like I pretty much called it like really early, and so I don't know how this happens, but somehow the Pikachu is his dad, and it like, oh, okay, well that's how it happened. So
Maybe
yeah.
I'm a dumbass, but I didn't see it coming.
Oh.
I also did not see it coming.
I don't know.
so-
I'm just thinking like, okay, Pikachu can talk, only Tim can understand him. Like, the whole thing is his dad disappears, but like, oh, he's not really dead, but the Pikachu's still there. I'm like, I don't know. I just kind of figured it, but yeah,
It was also interesting to see Ryan Reynolds actually pull off Pikachu really well.
Yeah.
Actually,
yeah, that works. He works well. Like the other two, like Tim and the woman, I don't remember her name. Like they're not like amazing, but they work. You know, they work decently well.
I like Tim's interaction with Pikachu.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely the highlight.
Yeah.
I think for me,
Pikachu's so cute.
yeah. I have basically one problem, and it's
The plot was too fast.
yes, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit more nuanced than that, but yeah, basically, especially like the first like half, it just feels like they're just like jumping really quickly between everything.
No, yeah, I agree. I think the moment that I realized it was going really fast was when like the Ditto lady like took them to like Howard's office and he just dumped a bunch of exposition and stuff, and I was
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
this is all going really quick.
yeah, and you're all like, wait, how long have I been watching this? Because it's kind of this weird sense where like it is really fast, but because so much happens, it also kind of feels like it's been taking a while.
Yeah.
So it's kind of both feels fast and slow at the same time, and it's like I kind of wish they just kind of they slowed down and kind of gave the moments a bit more time to be there, so you kind of
Yeah,
like knew
definitely.
you could kind of soak in what was going on a bit better. So then yeah, the pacing for that just doesn't feel. And then there's a couple other scenes where it's like, wait, why is this here? Like, you know, for the best one again, I mentioned the Torterra stuff, which looks cool, but like it doesn't really serve a purpose. Right. The only thing is like, oh well, Pikachu gets hit in the head, and it's like, sure, but like they could have, you know, I don't know, they could have like had him get hit by like a Greninja as they're running away or something, right?
Yeah.
And like then you just didn't need. So there's a few things like that where it's like, but again, is that like make it a bad movie? No, not at all, right?
I kind of think of it like I just thought of this comparison, but I guess a good like contrast movie would be Zootopia, where like you again have a character coming to the city, and I guess the difference there is that for Zootopia they let you like breathe in the environment and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
you
the
see
different
kind of like the daily
forms.
life before like the main plot like kind of really gets
Yeah.
going. Yeah.
So in that way, you can like appreciate everything, and when the plot starts going, you can appreciate the plot. Here, they kind of just hit the ground running, basically.
I kind of wish they started with Tim on like the train so that we would get back a few extra minutes that they could have like used otherwise, since him being like back at home with his friend that we never see again.
Oh yeah, that was all kind of.
It didn't seem super necessary. We could have gotten a better sense of like what was going on when he was on the train being like, so I'm going to the city.
Yeah.
But then you would have the narrator problem.
Yeah.
Well,
That's-
honestly, like if not really, I mean, if they just because they showed like him with like the newspaper saying like detective dies or whatever, right? Well, okay, have
Oh,
the very
that's true.
have the very opening thing with Mewtwo, right? So
Yeah.
have that, then kind of cut to him on the train. You see the detective dies in a crash, and then it's shows that he shows up with like the guy with the snubble, and they talk about your father, and it's like, oh, you can
Yeah.
figure out what's
That
going
is
on
great.
without that.
That would be a better way to just present it much like closer, and then we would have a few maybe like 7 minutes to just use otherwise.
Or even then, just add more time because this is a pretty dang short movie, right?
I think it's because of the children.
I know, but you could totally have made this 2 hours, and it wouldn't.
Yeah, I
so.
wish they did.
Yeah.
I guess to be fair, it seems like they're coming out with a sequel for this, so
Yeah, they already said that they're well. Okay, here's what I'm not sure about because like I don't really think like an actual like story continuation would really work too well.
No, I don't think so
So,
either.
No.
but I think the idea, so I hope this is what they're doing, is to actually just basically make more Pokemon movies, right?
Yeah.
Of other stories, like, within this world or whatever. And that's totally fine. I'm fine with that. I'd be curious to see where they go. The only thing, like for example, maybe something they could do is, like, maybe kind of see, like, what Mewtwo does next. Kind of, because there's still kind of the whole thing with them, but, you know, not really liking humans and stuff like that. They could kind of, I don't know, sort of do a quote-unquote remake of, like, the, you know, first Pokemon movie or something, but focus it more from Mewtwo's angle and maybe, you know, not have Ash, of course, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Or just do something completely new, right? I've heard people say, like, oh, we want a movie of, like, you know, an actual Pokemon trainer starting their journey and collecting badges, and I'm like, I don't think that would work as a
That is
movie.
Basically, just watch the anime, really.
Well, no, not even that. Like, I just don't see how that really works as a movie because there's not. I don't. I guess like.
I feel like that's
don't know.
also a lot to pack on and
Yeah,
into a
it'd either be
movie,
way too much.
You would need a trilogy for that.
Well, even then, I'm like, what would be the actual like narrative, like structure for that without basically just like doing
Ripping one of the games.
Yeah, and then I'm like, well, I don't know. Then it would feel like disjointed, really, if you still had like an evil team plot and the whole gym leader thing, because you know the gym leader stuff doesn't really matter in terms of the story of Pokemon games, like almost all the time. So yeah, I just don't really see that story working that well in a movie. So
I think like what they did here, where it's like they set a story in the Pokemon world, but it's not entirely about the trainers and stuff.
yeah,
was
this
a
is
good
not
idea.
a Pokemon
Yeah.
story, really.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Well, again, this is, you know, I think it was interesting that they based this off of the Detective Pikachu game because that's they have the source material there, but at the same time, it's not your standard kind of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting. But
So, I mean, they could do like different backstories of like different people in Pokemon. That would be interesting. Like if they decided to do something with Giovanni or with like
yeah, I
any
could
of the
see
other
some.
evil teams and
Yeah, I
stuff.
could see some game characters like having some stuff in here. But yeah, just a straight up kind of like basically, yeah, I don't think they should do a movie on like the main games, like exactly.
No.
I don't think that would work. So
There's a reason they're games.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
And I think that's also why this video game movie worked, because I feel like with most other video game movies, they're like, okay, we'll just take the plot of the video game and we'll put it in a movie, but it doesn't really work that way. Like, one example I can think of is like the Assassin's Creed game, where I didn't see it, but my brother saw it, and he was like, if you didn't know like anything about Assassin's Creed prior to this movie, you would be completely lost, and even if you did know anything about Assassin's Creed before the movie, you would still be pretty lost.
yeah, because one thing that this does is that you don't like need to know how Pokemon works to see this.
No.
Like it
Yeah.
helps in terms of appreciating a lot of the elements, but you don't. Again, my dad wasn't confused for anything, and he doesn't, really know. He knows it just because I played it, and he, absorbed it through osmosis to some degree, right? That's all he
Yeah.
knows. So, yeah, and that was an issue. But because the things that you do need to know, they established kind of right there in front of you, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, for example, Charizard uses fire attacks. Oh, you big orange lizard with fire at its tail uses fire. I never would have thought. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that where it's like, okay, yeah, right. And then this whole idea about like, really the only thing would maybe be like the stuff with Mewtwo, but they pretty much just say it right there. So
Yeah.
I don't think
He's
that's
a
really an
genetic
issue.
experiment, and doesn't like humans. That's
Yeah.
all you really need to know about him right now.
Yeah. Okay,
So-
I don't know where to really talk about this. Put this in. I just want to mention that the whole fight with Ditto was great. So that whole like reveal, it's like when the Ditto transforms into people and you see like the eyes on the people. It's just like, oh, it's so like uncanny, but it's great in that. It's just
Yeah.
so that was really good.
That was hilarious. I love how he had to put sunglasses on so he wouldn't see the top.
Yeah, no, but like I'm like, that's actually kind of smart in a sense. So it's like,
Yeah.
huh, okay. So that's something where it's like, oh, this is new, and I'm kind of glad I saw that with that. And so that's like the only thing where I could really
Small
see.
things.
Yeah, and then that's the only thing I could see with like kind of the callback to the intro that we had with like the Cubone, because the Ditto turned into a Cubone. It was like
Oh yeah.
he's trying to like poke him off the ledge or whatever. And I'm like, this is like, it's kind of dumb, honestly, but it's like funny dumb. So it's like, okay. And then I was also kind of interested how would they incorporate the whole like Pokemon attacks into this. And so, like for example, they're like, Pikachu's like, oh, I could use Volt Tackle, but it's like, it'll hurt me or something. And it's like, oh, okay, like yeah, that's how that works. So stuff like that's nice. And yeah, like to me, this is, yeah, for what it is, it's good. The world stuff kind of is like a bit better than like a typical good thing, but I'd say maybe the plot like structure is a little bit worse. But overall, kind of averaged out to be a good, solid movie that I liked. So, which again, as we said, is a miracle.
I also like the end credits where people like drawn out as like the Pokemon in art style and stuff. I thought that was a really nice touch that they did.
Yeah, I was glad you mentioned that because I remember I wanted to say that, but I forgot about it. So.
I'm just happy that like the Pokemon Company actually worked with the movie production team, so they made it really authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I'm just I wouldn't say I love this movie, but I'm definitely curious to see where they go from here. Because looking at the amount of money the movie's made so far, it hasn't made a ton, but it seems like it will make enough to be like profitable and worthy of sequel stuff. So we'll see. Will this be the start of some giant like Pokemon or video game cinematic universe? Probably not, but I'm at least
TCU.
I highly doubt it. At least especially to like the Marvel degree. But I could definitely see this like starting a a franchise or whatever of some Pokemon movies, and I'm down for that. Yeah. There's a few other video game movies I think could work. Actually, just thinking of Nintendo, like I mean, again, there's the Mario movie, but it's Illumination, so there's not really much hope there. But besides that, I've heard people mention how like. That they should do like a Metroid movie, but in the style of the original Alien. So like focus on being like really like creepy and atmospheric and like just following Samus around. Like that could work actually if they did that well.
I think so.
And the other thing, actually, speaking of the Torterra scene, even though it doesn't really do much in this movie, after seeing that, I'm like, would it be possible if they tried to make a Shadow of the Colossus movie? Because the whole thing of that is there's a dude who's like. Okay, this might sound like I'm spoiling it, but I'm not really. Is that his like girlfriend, wife, whatever, woman he likes is like dead, and he's trying to resurrect her by making a deal with some demonic-esque creature. And the whole thing that the creature says is, "Okay, I will resurrect this person if you kill like these 16 giant beasts." Mm-hmm. And so that's the whole like premise of the game, and I'm like. Could this work as a movie? I don't know. Like you think the plot's really bare bones, but I don't know. Maybe if they focus on like the atmosphere and like the emotion of what's going on, and like the actual like action scenes like on the beast would be really interesting to see if they could do that in like a really large scale battle. So I don't know. Like it'd be really hard to do, but I feel like if you did it right, it could be really good. But
I mean, it would be better than Clash of the Titans.
Yeah, you would actually have Titans clash. Okay, anyway, enough about that. But yeah, I guess even ignoring the fortuitous nature of what this movie is, I think we're all satisfied with that this is the end. So,
yeah. We did it, guys.
Yeah, now we need to talk about everything. Well, okay. It feels weird to like be like, so let's summarize 2019 when it's not even half over. But I mean, so far it's been pretty good though.
Yeah, so far it's been pretty good.
Like, I mean, Glass I'd say is the worst, but even then it's not like bad.
Yeah, it's not as bad as previous January movies.
Yeah, like again, like you guys probably sure you kind of confused by it, but even then it's not like you wouldn't say it's bad, right? Just kinda, yeah. And then How to Train Your Dragon was good. Captain Marvel was good. Endgame made us cry. And this was also good, so...
Yeah.
And then we know July will be good.
July... Okay, well, July... I'm still kind of burnt off a bit by it, especially because the Beauty and the Beast movie, so I'm a little bit tentative about it, but, like, I don't think it's going to be, like, bad, right? So...
Yeah.
And then also June is probably going to be Toy Story 4, which, again, is probably not going to be bad.
Yeah, wait, isn't July going to be Homecoming? No. Far From Home?
Oh, no, July is going to be Lion King.
It is?
July, I'm sure Lion King is going to beat out Far From Home.
No!
Yeah.
Peter!
I mean, I'm sure Far From Home is going to do well, but Lion King made like $900 million in 1994.
Yeah, but this is like the live action Lion King, though.
Yeah, but Beauty and the Beast live action made $1.3 billion, and that's much more of a multiplier. The original Beauty and the Beast made much less than 900 mil, so the multiplier. Honestly, I can see Lion King making 2 billion from.
Guys, go and watch Peter Parker cry. Okay?
Like again, I want Far From Home to win too, but I just don't think it will. So.
I mean, I haven't heard of anyone who wants to. I guess on the other hand, my age group. Well,
I think our age group is not super keen on it, since a lot of like artists that I follow, like that we both follow on Twitter, they are not super hyped about it.
Yeah, but here, let me find a thing.
Oh
no. There's a thing I saw where it was like most viewed trailers. Is that not here?
We'll just believe you.
No,
it was on the list, I presume.
Oh, here we go. It's a part of this. So, yeah, here's Lion King is number 4 most viewed trailer of all time, just after the 2 Endgame and Infinity War trailers.
Oh,
so,
crap.
And Far From Home is... Oh, okay, it's on the list, 10 and 11, so that's still pretty good. But I just don't see it. I don't see it. Again, I think it'll make a lot of money. I could see Far From Home probably being around like $1 billion or so, but Lion King I think is pretty much guaranteed to be like 1.5, if not close to 2. So, but again, I don't. Even then, I don't think Lion King is going to be bad, right? It's just if anything, it kind of will be meh,
disappointing.
Right? Yeah. So
it feels like they're just rehatching the plot,
right? Which again automatically makes it not terrible. So
yeah.
But then okay, August. What's coming up? Oh, I think August is the month that has like the Fast and Furious like spin-off thing, which like
probably we're gonna win.
Yeah, because again, like August, nobody cares about August. But like again, I don't think that's going to be trash, right? It's probably not going to be good, but it's not going to be trash.
Yeah.
September is the It sequel.
That's definitely gonna win.
Yeah, which again, I kind of want to see. I don't know. The trailer for that came out somewhat recently, and the whole thing with like the old woman is like, oh shit, that's like really well done, creepy stuff. But anyway, and then let's see. October is the standalone Joker movie, which actually looks interesting from the trailer. So.
Oh, did you hear about Robert Pattinson playing?
Oh yeah. Okay, I've heard a lot of people argue that like, oh, not just the Twilight stuff. He's done a lot of like good stuff and like other things, and it's like, okay, but look at him. He doesn't.
Either way, it's gonna be good.
Right? Yeah. Either we get a good Batman, or we get a hilariously awful Batman we can meme to death.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But the solo Joker thing actually looks like kind of interesting. I don't think like he's gonna be like in that. So I'm pretty sure they're like kind of done with making the Joker thing already. So
yeah, they have to be.
Yeah. So that's at least I'm interested to see how that's gonna work. It's probably gonna win that. Let's see, November. That's Frozen 2. So that's gonna win. Yeah. Which somehow that doesn't look horrible. So let's hope that that's not horrible. And then
Havana dies.
Yeah, and then December is Star Wars. Rise of Skywalker. So win. Yeah, but honestly, if you just take it, let's assume that all of those predictions are true. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is a pretty good year.
Yeah.
Because then again, like, what's the worst of the year? Probably like the Fast and Furious spinoff. Will probably be the worst, but like that's not that bad. Probably.
Probably.
Yeah. So, and because yeah. It's weird to compare this, say, oh, this year is this, when again we're not even halfway done with it, and we won't be, at least for this challenge, though we'll probably see some stuff going forward on our own, but yeah. And then, well, I guess we should also talk about the 2010s as a whole, which
oh yeah, it was overall good.
Yeah,
I remember
definitely. Okay, comparing what we saw of the 90s to the 2000s to the 2010s, I would say pretty confidently that the 2010s are the best of the three.
Yeah.
That said, though, the 2010s also have its own...
Yes!
Popcorn kernels!
Bad eggs.
Popcorn kernels, abuse, and dumb robots.
Yeah.
And a few scattered other things. They have their own
problems.
Yeah, but honestly, like...
It's not perfect, but it is... I would choose the 2010s if I had to rewatch like a decade.
Yeah, like again, I was talking to my dad about this too, where it's like there is some like inherent quality to most things in the 2010s.
Yeah.
Right? Again, because like remember like the stuff in the 2010s, like the stuff that we didn't like, I remember we said this a lot, where like this is not like that bad. right?
Yeah.
Where it's like in the early 2000s or like the 90s, there was stuff that a fair amount of stuff that was that bad, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think, and I think, you know, a lot of stuff like, because like one thing, I know people complain all the time about, oh, nothing's new anymore or whatever in movies, and it's like, yeah, but at least it's like has a already like kind of decent quality to it.
Yeah.
Is, you know, I like, what I don't understand is people who are like my age or like a little bit older who are like, oh man, entertainment now just sucks. I miss like the 90s, and I'm like, do you though? Do you really? You should go back and rewatch a lot of that stuff because it's not very good. Because I'm just trying to think, like, how many really good movies were there in the 90s? Not very many, right? I'm trying to think, at least for me, like, the movies that I would say were really good in the 90s, like, maybe, like, less than 10? Like, that's not, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Whereas here, there's a lot more. So, that's... And I know...
And this is just going off the highest grossing list, too.
Right, and of course, so yeah, there's of
Yeah.
course bad movies all the time, and there's good movies all the time, but I'm talking about in terms of, like, popular movies that most people saw,
Yeah.
this does seem to be better.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's something, I guess. So, yeah, we made it all the way to 300.
We did it.
Yeah, we started this over 2 years ago, for comparison's sake, so...
And watched movies nearly every weekend.
Yeah, there's definitely, again, we had, like, the summer 2017, we had a big break, and there's been a couple, like, weekends scattered throughout where we had to not watch stuff for various reasons, but yeah, especially, like, the last several months, we barely missed any, so yeah, we went pretty intense through all of this. But, and again, even though we didn't, you know, only see great movies, we saw a lot of bad things. It was at least, yeah, to me, this overall experience was interesting just to see a bunch of stuff. A lot of stuff that, like, I wouldn't have seen otherwise. And again, a lot of it was stuff where I'm like, okay, yeah, there's a reason I didn't want to see this because it sucked. But, like, there was a decent amount of stuff where it's like, huh, I totally would have never seen that if not for this, and I like it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that kind of makes this worth it. And again, just the overall thing of everything, just kind of seeing how everything works together and some of the trends and stuff. I don't know, this is really interesting. And at least I am, despite the trials and tribulations, I feel content, in a sense.
I also feel content.
It just feels nice to finish something, you know?
Yeah. But, well, that said, we're not quite done.
No, we still have some other things that you may be interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Extras.
Yeah, so, again, we've said this before through several discussions, but we've been ranking these movies, all 300 of them now, but the exact rankings we've been keeping secret from each other. So, we're going to kind of reveal that to ourselves and to you guys. So, tomorrow...
After 2 long years.
Yeah, seriously. So, tomorrow will be a video where we go over each of our top 15 movies. That'll be tomorrow. It'll probably be pretty long, but oh well. We'll have a lot to talk about. And then, so you'll get to see the stuff that we really, really like. And again, of course, there's a lot of other movies we really like too, because 15 is not a very big number. Yeah. So that's tomorrow. Is that, let's see, I'm trying to think of course, we're recording this in advance, so I'm trying to think of the dates. The day after that, which I believe is Thursday? Yes, Thursday the 13th. That will be then our bottom 15 least favorite movies.
Oh, we just missed Friday the 13th.
I know, so close.
Oh, crap.
But that will be, if you want to hear us get angry, that'll be a fun time for you there. So that'll be, that'll be Thursday.
Probably equally as long, too.
Yeah, we'll see. Then the Friday the 14th, we are going to be kind of going over, like, the years, and I think we're going to, we still have a bit of time to figure this out, but I think what we're going to do is I'm going to be looking at all of our ranking lists. Also, once we reveal our top and bottom 15, I will, like, share, like a Google Sheets thing that kind of shows our full ranking list, so if you want to see exactly where one of the films are for us, you can kind of look at it there. And from that, I will kind of average the list out and sort of kind of create like an average ranking list between all of us and use that to kind of like rank the individual years. And then we'll kind of go over that on Friday the 14th. And so we'll kind of basically do like a retrospective of like what we thought was the worst year and kind of why, and then going up to what we thought was the best year and why. And so that we'll see how that goes. Mm-hmm. And then to close all of this off, in addition to the rankings, we've also been compiling a award list. So we are basically going to do a double feature of basically Academy Awards and the Razzie Awards, where we are going to be both showing off nominations for several categories for what we think like did the best in certain things, like maybe like best protagonist or best plot or the best visual effects or whatever. And also the worst versions for all of that. So you'll see these are all collectively decided by us. So we'll get nominations, we'll get ones that we think actually deserve the best and worst awards for that, and that'll be kind of a whole little spectacle thing that actually will require some work to put together instead of just, turn on OBS and record. So I hope that we can get that done and I can get it edited together and have that done by Saturday the 15th. So if not, it might be a few days late, so hopefully not. But we'll do what we can for that. So then the next question, I guess, is then what are we doing after that? Well, first thing is we're taking a break. Because, again, we've been working on this for over 2 years. But after that, we'll decide exactly what we want to, exactly how we want to do this. And we might make like a little update video, near the end of June to kind of figure out exactly what we're doing. But we definitely want to do more stuff on here after this. And the current plan is we have a lot of movies that we still want to see that we just didn't see for this challenge. So maybe we'll probably do, maybe like one a week, maybe instead of one a day, to make it a little bit more manageable. We'll kind of watch it, discussions about it. If there's enough interest, you might even have like a viewer voting thing, or maybe we'll just pick randomly whatever we want. So you'll do that. This will also give us a chance to talk about maybe movies that, release in the future that we want to talk about, as well as stuff that we have, again, on our big backup list. And let's see, then in addition to that, there's some other stuff we have maybe ideas for in terms of other kinds of videos to put out. For example, I've mentioned before that I'm working on like planning out an MCU ranking list. So that's something I'm going to be working on after this probably released. Okay, I'm going to wait for Spider-Man Far From Home to come out, so it'll be shortly after that. It should go up. So
then you can do like all 4 phases.
3 phases, but yeah.
3 phases.
Yeah, so that'll be kind of an ending fest. That'll be early July. I also kind of want to make a video myself on like what I would do for the DC EU, which I know is kind of like too little too late, but oh well, I still want to do it. And so we're kind of going to branch out of it and kind of maybe do a bit of our own things. Again, these are just my ideas. I'm sure you two have kind of your own ideas and maybe some stuff you would do. And of course, again, I'm sure we'll still come together and work on some things together, or maybe like you two will do something, or Tara and I will do something, or whatever, right? And so we'll do some mixing and matching, and but that'll be more scattered and, kind of when we get to it. So don't expect like some big video like that, like, once a week or once a month or whatever. We'll just see how we get to it. Yep. And if there's anything else that we feel like doing that comes up, then we'll do that as well. I will say I have a rough plan for a next project, but we're not starting it now, so don't you two worry. But I have tentative plans that I guess we'll be discussing somewhat in the future. So
oh boy.
It's definitely like it's something where I could totally understand if you two don't even want to do it because it's like too much, but we'll talk about it. So possible teaser for the future, but
laugh
we'll
at
see.
You and suffer.
Yeah. So, but anyway, this is our finale, and surprisingly, this discussion was not super long.
Surprisingly, yeah.
I kind of expected this one to be super, super long, but no, I guess.
I thought it was going to be too, but
Can you just insert like the clip of Pikachu dancing at the end?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, I should just put that in place of like the movie poster. Just have the detective, the dance going there instead.
Oh yeah, you could do that too.
I could do that. So actually, speaking of the dance, did you see? Yeah, so there's an edit like on Twitter that I saw where they took the Pikachu dancing and then they edited out the music and put in like grunts of someone like exerting themselves to like the dance, and so it's just you hear like an and it's just like the whole time, and it's just really funny. But and then of course there's like a bunch of things where they change the song to something else and stuff that works. But yeah, that was pretty great. But yeah, that's it, I guess. Hello, Sora. And we end with a Sora.
Yes, we end with a Sora.
It comes full circle.
Yes.
Oh, any last words?
It was. I can't believe that I'm the one that's ending this.
It's been a wild ride.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now do it all over again. Woo!
Oh, gosh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, joke's on you. You 300 movies? How about 3,000 movies?
And on that cliffhanger.
Oh.
Good night.
Sorry. See you tomorrow for our top 15 favorite movies of this challenge.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.